Hey everybody, today we are doing a deep dive on the episode Green-Eyed Gomez. This is an episode from the 1964 Addams Family sitcom series that follows as Gomez gets some jealousy because Morticia's ex-boyfriend shows up into town. I'm going to guess this is a different ex-boyfriend than we heard about in the last episode. In the last episode we did hear about one of Morticia's ex-boyfriends, but this one does seem to be it's going to be a different guy. Either way, we're going to see Gomez get real jealous and probably have some crazy hijinks in order to get her to only focus on him, because we all know Gomez is such a lover. He's obsessed with Morticia. So let's get into the episode. We start off the episode with Morticia preening in the mirror. She is checking her hair and making sure everything looks nice. And then we see the suit of armor next to the mirror pull up the visor and say, "Aha, I caught you red-handed." And essentially Gomez is worried that she's getting ready because her ex-boyfriend's going to be in town. And he's like, "Why would you care?" And she's all like, "Gomez, don't be silly, darling, no." We find out that Lionel is not an old suitor. He's actually just one of Morticia's friends, and Gomez is already overreacting. I do like that this episode is getting back into the concept of kind of already being prepared for it to be a dramatic episode, and we're not the last few episodes have been kind of take a really while, a long time to get into the storyline. I like that we're already seeing the inciting incident right away. Morticia tells Gomez he has nothing to be worried about. He has been in her heart since the day they met, and they've both been obsessed with each other ever since, and there's nothing he needs to worry about. We then find out that Lionel will be staying with him for a little while, and Gomez is coming around to the idea because he wants to show up all the nice things that they have as a family. Morticia is now showing Gomez the room that she has made up for Lionel to stay in. I can't help but notice this is the same exact set as Pugsley's room, and I think possibly Wednesday's room. So I'm going to guess they have one room that they just change out the set decoration for in order to have a room for Pugsley, a room for Wednesday. So realistically, they probably have one set for all the extra rooms. See the car pull up. This is Lionel and his friend, it seems. But then, of course, hijinks are about to ensue because this Lionel knows that Morticia's spookier than this house, and he knows she's loaded. So, yet again, we're seeing some more con men try to take on the Addamses. Why does this keep happening to this poor family? They're just trying to live their lives with a bunch of money. Why are there always con men after them? It's very upsetting. Lionel then goes to the door, who he is greeted by Lurch, and as usual, Lurch is not vibing with this person. I like that we're starting to see that Lurch might be the only person who has any kind of compass on whether or not people are okay or not. I feel like he has some sort of almost sixth sense to be like, this person is not cool and they might hurt my family. So that's why he's such a good butler and he is such a good doorman. Lionel then comes to see Morticia and Gomez, and he says, "Morticia, you haven't changed a bit since the day I met you." And Gomez says, "The one big difference is she's married now." So already Gomez is like, "This is my wife, don't you think about it." Morticia and Lionel are catching up on the good old days, talking about when they first met and how they would hang out as kids. The camera slowly pulls out to reveal Gomez, which is a very funny kind of sight gag. We're seeing Gomez almost as the quite literal third wheel. He's in his own home and he's sitting there quietly listening to the story, clearly outraged that Morticia is talking to someone else. Gomez runs off to make a call, and Morticia's like, "We'll miss you if you leave, darling." And he's like, "I'm sure Mr. Barker can keep you occupied." Gomez is nervous. He's worried he's going to lose Morticia. Gomez then goes to talk to Fester about all this. As usual, I think we're going to see Fester as the wise older person giving them good advice. It does seem that Fester does not seem to care that much about this whole story. He's too busy reading his newspaper, which happens to be from a year ago. Lionel and Morticia are talking about a poem he wrote for them back when they were young, and Morticia's like, "Can you remind me what was in that poem again?" And so he recites it, and of course Gomez walks in, and the poem is very romantic, saying that, "Morticia, you're the only one for me, and you're very special to me." And now Gomez is, "Oh no, this Lionel guy is going to take Morticia." Morticia's is running around with Lionel right now, and Fester's like, "I don't care what she's doing. She's not feeding the plants. A niece like mine should be feeding her plants. The plants aren't even going to eat when I try to feed them. They're starving." I like to think on some level they are full, and that's why they're not eating right now. Morticia did take care of them, and Fester's just, as usual, stirring the pot. Fester and Gomez then come up with a plan to get rid of Lionel. The first thing they're going to do is rearrange the room. And my speculation is if I know the Addamses, which I feel like I do, they're going to rearrange it in a way that it's going to look normal and nice, and Lionel's going to like it because they're going to make it scary by putting curtains up or making it homey and safe and clean. Yep, they replaced all of the furniture with nice mattresses, nice duvets, and overall it looks very pleasant. And Fester's like, ew, this is soft. Why is this mattress soft? I, I know in canon, like in the world, he sleeps on like what, a bed of nails or something like that, and so it makes sense that he wouldn't like a soft bed. But I like that in this exact scene, it just seems like he's more of a firm mattress guy. Gomez also replaced the crow that Morticia had put in the room with a little songbird. Honestly, that would make me want to leave. Realistically, I don't feel like I'd want to have a little singing bird in my room. That would probably annoy me enough to leave someone's house, especially if I'm just visiting. I'd probably be like, I'll get a hotel room and I'll come back tomorrow. Despite all of the hijinks and trying to rearrange the room, Lionel has not left. He enjoyed his night's sleep and he's having the best breakfast he's had in years. So, honestly, this is a sign that what Gomez is doing is not working yet. Lionel then says, I really love the carnations that you put in my room. And Morticia's like, I didn't put any carnations in your room. I would never. And she looks over at Gomez. Morticia knows what's up. Morticia is not dumb. She knows what's going on. Morticia calls Gomez out on this, and we have this really funny performance where he's like, me, jealous? I would never be jealous. Honestly, it's nice to see him try something different with his performance. It was very fun. We then see Lionel on the phone, and he's talking to his business associate, like, we'll get the money from them soon. Don't you worry. We'll be out of here with a big bundle of cash. I also love how all the con men in this show are always using the Addams' phone, and they're always talking like Snidely Whiplash from Dudley Do-Right. They're all like, come over here, and I'll get the money for you, buddy. Hey, we get to see Fester in his bed of nails. I just referenced that earlier. I knew they were going to bring this in. Honestly, it probably would be comfortable. It probably would be really good pressure points. Probably does feel comfy. Fester and Gomez start making another plan yet again. They want to have a different idea of how to get rid of Lionel, so they're going to make up a new plan. And they think, what if we bring in another woman? Okay, so in their first idea of who can we get for a woman, a stunning, seductive woman, who can we get? And they go, oh, what about Grandmama? And then Gomez goes, no, Grandmama likes taller men, but she is the type we're looking for. So in universe, Grandmama is stunning, and she likes taller men. Good to know. They're going to hire a maid, and they're going to get somebody to come in there and fill this position to try to get Lionel to fall in love with this person instead of Morticia. A maid. Is this going to be Debbie? Honestly, I think my whole series is going to be very, very much me looking for Debbie. I can't help it. I love her. She's iconic. We get to see the maid now. She's a little bit worried. She's like, this place is kind of messy. She's kind of not vibing. I don't think she's going to be Debbie, sadly. But she does look like she's going to be an interesting foil to this Lionel character. I love her already. Okay, so they tell her the plan that there might be a man lurking around who might be looking to marry. And she's like, oh my gosh, cool, okay. She's like, this place isn't that bad then. Let's get me married. I'm ready. Honestly, I love that. She just got here. She's like, yeah, I'll find a husband. That's cool. Fester and Gomez agree that she could be a winner. She's going to be really good for this plan. And honestly, she might be. This might just work out. What if this is just like a nice, sweet episode? Nobody gets hurt. Nobody's like mean. What if it's just like Lionel gets married to this lady and it's fine? She's being a little too forward for Lionel. The maid is like following him around everywhere. And he's like, I had to check under the bed to make sure you weren't there. You're like obsessed with me. And she's like, stop. Honestly, I love her. I want her to be a character. Make her like a full-time character. This should be Debbie. Or Fester's like new girlfriend. Or like Lurch's girlfriend. Get Lurch a girlfriend. I don't know. Keep her in the house. I like her. She's cute. Gomez then decides that she needs a little bit help in the art of seduction. And Fester's like, from who? And Gomez is like, me. I used to have women eating out of my hand when I was younger. And Fester's like, must have been messy. Fester's killing it in this episode. Honestly, Fester's not always my favorite character, but this episode he's pretty funny. Gomez is teaching the maid how to flirt, and Morticia walks in, and Morticia's like, my husband's flirting with a hot maid? Never. I also love that this maid is not going after Gomez. I really thought this episode was going to take a turn where she falls in love with Gomez and it becomes a real problem, but she's like, no, I'll go find Lionel. You got me all like ready to flirt. Morticia's then crying about Gomez possibly flirting with another woman. She's heartbroken. She understands why Gomez was upset. Thing then tells Morticia to punch him. He's like, get in there. Thing's like, fight for your man. And Morticia's like, violence is not the answer thing. I do like that we've always seen Morticia is not about violence. Morticia then goes to confront Fester, and she's like, I know why Gomez brought this woman in here. And of course, misunderstandings will ensue with the Addamses when Fester's involved. And Fester's like, yeah, I think it's a good idea that he brought this girl in. And Morticia's like, you do? Meanwhile, Cleopatra's like, I'll kill him, Morticia. I'll eat this man for you. And Morticia's like, no violence, please, no violence. Morticia then sees Gomez and she goes, no, I'm not going to deal with him right now. I'm going to leave. So she goes the other way. Meanwhile, Lionel is spying on Gomez, checking his stocks, and they're talking a little about the stock market. Because despite establishing that he's a lawyer, it also seems that Gomez maybe might be a stockbroker or at least invests a lot in stocks. Lionel then tells Gomez, I got a great business proposition for you about this oil company. And he tells Gomez the company, and Gomez says, if that's your friend and he's investing in that, you should have him boil in the oil because that's not a good company. I like that Gomez knows. Because normally they don't present him as somebody who knows better from, like good business deals. He just goes with whatever and it works out in his favor. But it shows that he's smart and intelligent when it comes to his actual business. Meanwhile, the maid sees Lionel and she's like, I'll read the stocks to you, baby. And Lionel's like, please. Lionel then finds out that Mildred has invested a bunch of her money in stocks. She's got money too. She doesn't really need this job. She's just doing it to... I don't know. They don't really say why she's doing it, but she's just doing it. She got money. And so Lionel's like, hey, baby, you want to hang out sometime? She's like, yeah, that's what I've been saying. Mildred, you're an icon. Morticia's over there with their dragon statue, and her and Gomez have a little heartfelt moment. And she's like, I think you know why things have gotten dark. And he's like, yes, you're caressing the dragon instead of me. Which, is that an innuendo? Feels like it is. She gives him a look like, what? What'd you say to me? Gomez then decides he loves Morticia so much that he has to do what's right for her and leave her, because if she's in love with Lionel, he cannot hold her back from that. Honestly, I feel like this is a storyline they use a lot in the Addams lore. I feel like this comes up again in the new Addamses. If I remember correctly, though, I want to say it's with one of Pugsley's teachers, possibly, and possibly like somebody who works for them, something like that. What? Gomez then tells Fester that he cannot live in a world without Morticia, so he needs Fester to kill him. And Fester's like, you've been a good nephew-in-law to me. I'll do it. We get him with a gun. Fester, get your gun, I guess. And Gomez stands there very forlorn, ready to die. And Fester pulls the trigger. Luckily, it's a water gun. So this could have gone very differently if there would have been a real gun in the playroom. Fester might have just killed Gomez. He was ready to. Fester then grabs a different gun. He's like, oh, that must be one of the children's water guns. I'll get the real one. Fester's legitimately ready to kill Gomez, it seems. And yet again, Fester is actually going to do it. But thankfully, he's a terrible shot and he hits the lamp and it knocks him out. So in theory, Fester is down to kill Gomez. Lurch and Fester then do some more attempts to try to kill Gomez. I don't really want to go into them, but they have a couple other failed attempts. Gomez sees Morticia then coming down the stairs, and he realizes that he really can't live without her. But he must, because she's in love with someone else. They're both hemming and hawing because they think the other one's in love with somebody else. Gomez thinks that Morticia's in love with Lionel, and Morticia thinks that Gomez is in love with Mildred. And they're not talking about what's actually going on, that neither of them are in love with anybody else but each other. Fester and Lurch decide that they have to do something to deal with this. They cannot let this marriage fall apart. They need these kids to make it work. And Lurch is like, soothing music. And Fester's like, yes, harpsichord, baby. Lurch plays some music on the harpsichord, and that's when Morticia and Gomez start getting it. They're dancing, they're talking, and they're dancing. They're feeling that music. They see Lionel and Mildred together, and they both realize, wait, we're not in love with these people. And Morticia's like, I would never love him. You're my, Kadita, my boobala. And they do their little Kadita boobala thing. So cute, so sweet. And they kind of figure out that, no, they were always in love with each other. Mildred and Lionel say that they're going to get married and they're going to run off together. And honestly, they might be happy for each other. She gets a man because she wants to get married, and he gets her money from stocks, possibly. Maybe not great for her, but I don't know. Maybe it'll work out. And meanwhile, Morticia and Gomez are like, we at least have each other. I'm glad that we have each other. That's all we need. They then have a little cute conversation where Gomez is like, somebody down there must like me a lot to have blessed me with a woman like you. And she's like, someone up here likes you too, boobala. And they start kissing, and Fester's like, you kid, you crazy. Gomez then reads a crazy poem to her, and Morticia's like, Gomez, that's beautiful. You really do love me. You know what love truly is. And he's like, yeah, baby, I love you so much. We get to the all's well that ends well moment. Morticia's back to knitting, and Gomez has gotten a thing from the stock market saying that Lionel's wife, all of her stocks have plummeted, and now they owe tons of money, and he's working night and day. So in theory, he didn't get the happy ending he wanted. He didn't really get what he wanted, which was money out of all this. But Mildred got married, so honestly, I'm happy for her. I just hope they can make it work. Honestly, I think Mildred could do better. I don't think we'll see her again, but if she came back, that'd be cool. And that was the episode. That was Green-Eyed Gomez. That was a very fun episode. It was, like I said, one of the kind of tropes they do a lot where it's a lot of miscommunication because Gomez and Morticia will never not love each other. They're always going to be obsessed with each other. And it's one of the things I think they like to play with a lot about putting these two in weird situations where they might have problems. But either way, it's a fun episode. If you'd like to see more Addams Family content just like this, make sure you subscribe for more. Also, let me know down below. Who do you think Mildred should be with? Do you think she'd be cute with Fester? Do you think she'd be cute with Lurch? Should she just be like a fun like maid character that they have running around who's just kind of this normal quirky little lady? Let me know down below. All right, guys, bye. Da 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 dum. Da 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 dum. Da da dum. Da 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 dum. Da 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 dum. The creepy and the kooky, they're all together ooky. Mysterious and spooky. The Addams Family. Da 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 dum. Da 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 dum. Da 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 dum. Da da dum. You know the one. Everyone knows that song. At least I hope you do. If not,